Let me tell you a little bit of something about me. I don't know what happened to make me cynical, and some of you may say, I didn't know that that was going on. Well, the people who are closest to me know that it might be going on. I might be able to put myself out in public and seem not so cynical, but I struggle with being cynical. I have a lot of negative thoughts, and those negative thoughts kind of spiral sometimes for me. So when I hear Paul say, rejoice always, I mean, that's a little bit of a punch in the gut for me. Now, earlier this week, I had a conversation in a group with a group of guys that I've been doing through Zoom online video stuff. It's Gospel on Tap, and what this just means is we get together so that we can talk about how the gospel intersects with meaningful parts of our life. And the subject that we covered is happiness. And we had a full discussion about whether or not we are happy, where our happiness comes from, what it looks like to be happy. And we came up with a definition that was very helpful for me because it really caused me to begin to unpack, like, how can I live out this rejoice always thing if I'm dealing with a cynical frame of mind and I'm always sort of like thinking of the dark side and the bad thing and it's not going to work and what are we going to do? Like, how am I going to rejoice always if I'm struggling with that? So the definition that we came up with for happiness is a childlike freedom to enjoy good things. Kids are happy. I mean, most kids are pretty happy most of the time, and they can be happy about the easiest of things, right? The most simple of things. And the example that I thought of as we were having this discussion earlier this week was how kids are just so happy jumping on a bed, right? I don't know how that makes you feel or what your standards are in your house, but man, kids jumping on a bed, it's soft, it's bouncy, that's fun, they can fall, it doesn't hurt. Man, they're having a great time. But what is like the normal adult response to jumping on the bed? Hey, you need to, we're all thinking the negative. You're gonna hurt yourself. You're gonna fall off. You're too heavy. You're gonna bend the frame and break the bed. Like, we think of all the negative things, and yet these children are like, they are not thinking about the negative. They are just enjoying the freedom of the moment, and they are embracing the goodness of that moment, and they're able to rejoice in it. They're totally free. And so as I had that conversation, I began to unpack some of the things that were kind of limiting me. It's not that I don't understand what it means to sort of be childlike. I think I kind of got that. There's something still in me that has that experience. And it's not that I lack good things. There's plenty of good things going on in my life. The problem had to do with my freedom. Was I free? And as I began to think about that, I began to think like, no, I'm not. I've got a lot of fear. I don't have freedom, I've got fear. And so I began to name my fears, make a list of my fears, and begin to think through them. And it's actually been super liberating. I do feel the childlike freedom to enjoy good things since that conversation earlier this week. And the discipline that I require will be to continue to remember that so that I can live a life that God has invited me into where I can rejoice always. Why would Paul say that? Well, why not? I mean, look at what God has done for us. Our sin is forgiven. Our future is secure. He's told us in his word that we don't have to worry about things like clothes and food and the economy and the virus, because even if the worst of the worst comes to pass for us, for any follower of Jesus throughout all of history, the worst of the worst comes to pass, you get thrown in a lion's den. You get fed to lions. You get ripped apart. Guess what? Your future is incredibly bright, incredibly secure, full of joy and peace. Man, why not embrace the reality? I know you're cynical like me sometimes and you think, this isn't you again. You don't understand what I got to worry about. Yeah, I know what you got to worry about. Here's real stuff. But listen, I'm telling you, we can rejoice because of the gospel. We really can. And I would encourage you to have some of that childlike freedom to enjoy good things and remember that Jesus has given us everything we need, so even the hardest of hard things that we might have to face don't have to overwhelm us, don't have to put us in a bad mood. We don't have to see the dark. We can join in God in celebrating what He's done for us no matter what the circumstances.